Yeah. Okay, so we're live now. Um, stand-up
Okay.
things. I feel I have not. I was not here the beginning of this week, and so I don't know if there was anything we need to follow up on from like the admin meeting Monday or anything. But if not, um, Caroline, if you do you have anything to stand up?
So it was just well, of course there was this weird thing with the apps dev thing going down. Did that get,
Yeah.
so was that Clinton had the form fixer there? I don't really understand what happened.
So yeah, I also don't have a solid understanding of what happened, but I do know that Quentin added some features to the form fixer. Specifically, it's actually kind of nice of like you upload a PDF and it will give you all the information that we normally like do in a batch process for the form explorer stuff. So you can get, oh, you have this many, like these are all your fields. You have this many, like he was doing things like this many pages and sentences and like difficult words and passive sentences and stuff like that. And which is very neat. But I think some of the features he added, I think specifically the passive feature thing, like added an extra gigabyte of memory usage per. I think it's per. I don't know if it's per user or per process, but essentially like that's like the server cannot handle that very well, and so I think by adding that and like a few people not using it, but I think you using the Weaver, I think it loads that by default, which was part of the problem. And
Oh, I see.
so
Yeah.
yeah, and so I think just running through the Weaver like a few times was enough to sort of completely overwhelm the server.
Log it.
Yeah, so not which was not your fault, more of just like, oh, we tried this, it doesn't quite work. And I think I but I yeah, I think because I think it kept going down, and I think
Mhm.
after Quentin sometime last night like reverted to change that he had made. Um,
Yeah.
and only this morning I realized what that change he made, and I was like, oh yeah, this explains all of it. Don't
Oh,
let's not do this.
right.
So
So,
but yeah.
so one thing I get that we're not using Trello anymore, although I really like it. So, because I just love the checklist, it's like, and then, so what happened is on Trello, it tells you to use the PDF validator, which we're not using anymore because it's been folded into the Weaver.
Yep.
And you took care of that on the, GitHub issues.
Hmm.
I think did you do that this morning yeah, you did it this morning. You said you're closing that issue, but it does make sense to me. We shouldn't have it up anymore, and whether we could do a redirect from the PDF from that page to the particular, I don't know, are we calling those cards on the Weaver? Automate the PDF form?
So I was going to say apps was dev. So I was actually curious. I didn't realize that it was still running. I guess I had tried clicking on the link you gave when apps dev was down, and so I had the
Oh,
impression that it wasn't actually running
yeah.
up
No, I
anymore.
was
But
using
okay.
it and then it went down. And it wasn't until one of you said, "Oh, we don't use that anymore." Because I was getting these, I
Mhm.
really liked those symbols, but I knew there was something wrong, but I didn't know what it meant. And I was
We've
doing a
definitely
little,
improved the
like
symbols a lot.
skull and crossbones. What'd you say?
I was gonna say we definitely have improved the symbols a lot. I think we have all the same semantics, but we actually explain what they all mean and stuff like that. So
Well, the thing is that it was really helpful. It just made me look. I realized some of them, but I don't know why they were wrong. So I took a wild guess, and then one of them I just had no idea why it was wrong. But then when I put it in the Weaver, none of them were wrong. I fixed them, but there was one that I couldn't see
I,
what to do to fix. But then when I pushed it to the Weaver, it what didn't count it as wrong.
I think
So
it wasn't saying it was wrong. I think it was saying that those aren't keywords that are handled by the Weaver.
that could be what we were doing there. I don't. Yeah, it's what this. I haven't gotten through this in a while, so I don't remember what the
But
school
it
and
changed.
crossroads were.
You see what I mean? I fixed some of
Yeah.
them and it changed. Oh, I know why. Because I put a yes or no at the end or something. I think they were checkbox. I can't remember what it
Okay.
was, but because there was two things. There was one is it was bold and then it said those aren't handled something or they're reserved or
okay.
something. I can't remember. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so we've got that figured out. But I just thought we ought to just do something so that if
A
just
redirect
somebody
sounds like a
script
good
on the
idea.
PDF editor that they know to go to the Weaver. I mean, I think that, or, whether it's a redirect or there's a message on the page or something.
Yeah, maybe a message on the page is a little better. And then
I would honestly maybe go for a redirect. I would prefer a redirect
but-
because
But if you're like going there expecting to, like, from the past, right? Expecting to
Yeah, I think a
validate
redirect is
your-
better. I frankly do because,
really,
I
I'd find
understand
it
what you're saying,
confusing,
but-
but yeah, okay.
you
well,
really
because
don't
the
want
first
people
few
using-
like there might be a thing that we can do is if we could skip the first screen of the Weaver, and because if you're going to the PDF tester, we assume you already have a PDF.
You want
So
to
if we
go
could-
to the,
yeah.
that's, if there's a way you can go to that card, automate the card so that you actually go into, that's where you want to go.
And we could do that
Um,
because that would be the exact same starting point
Yeah.
of like,
Because,
here's where you
I mean,
upload your files.
the other thing about that is, so there's two things. One is if there's a link anywhere that goes to the PDF validator and you go and you end up there, you want to go straight to the Weaver. If you're used to going there to the PDF, like you say, if you remember it and you're coming back and you want it to be familiar, the problem with that is you're not going to read the message because you're familiar with it. You know what you're going to do. You're not going to read the message. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd also because
Well, it would look different. It'd look very different, but okay.
we could get it to look different. But I think the main thing is
fight it.
yeah. I think the main thing is that I don't think the PDF tester, the PDF field tester, I don't think is really. It's not that it's not relevant, but like that's code we haven't updated in a long time. So even if you're testing on there, like if you then go through the
So-
normal Weaver, it's
so
not
I'm
you're
not
not going to have the same
saying-
results.
I'm not saying you would do the PDF. I'm saying the page would be different and it would say, hey, this has moved and it is now
Yeah.
hooked up to the Weaver, press, go to this
Yeah, you
link.
could do that too.
If
That's all I'm saying. Like,
Okay,
but
so-
you would change it completely.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. That would also be fine. I think I had been misinterpreting it as like, oh, here's the new version, and with still everything else the same.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
okay.
that's
No.
Either
makes
are fine then in that case.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not bothered with. I
Um,
think I'm not bothered whichever, but we ought to do something.
Yeah, for sure we can do that. Honestly, I think it's and now I'm in the depths of my brain. I think I would like to just remove that package, but I think there were some weird dependencies and all of the MAVC packages depend on the wizard for some reason, and so we couldn't completely remove it. I would like to just completely remove it, but I think that's fair. We can just redirect it instead, or we can just give the new here's the new page. Click this button
Right,
to
and
go
so
to the
you
new-
cannot go. You could just set up the page just so you can't continue, or the only way to continue
Yeah.
is to go to the new page, not to the
Yeah.
next.
Yeah, we
screen.
can. That's fairly easy
Exactly.
to do that. Okay then. That's doable
Okay,
then.
so that's sort of one thing that was, and the context for that is that I started doing the unbeknownst to my boss, I started doing the name change in Alaska because David suggested that would be a good thing to have that ready to go when if we want to push the e-filing thing.
Mhm.
So I've been working on that, and that's why I was doing the PDF editor. Can you just remind me? So there's a package of forms when you do the minor, name change for a minor. Does it make sense to do them one by one, or just have them all be one file and upload them to the Weaver to get the interview?
So I think I talked about this with Quinn recently, and even like essentially even things that we have initially made as like individual standalone interviews for forms, he's like sort of stopped using them and have just brought them all into one form. And so I think it's essentially if if it's a form that's only used in the name change, then I would like just you can like the Weaver now like I think lets you upload multiple forms and it just treats them all as like one big thing. And so you can just upload more than one PDF in the
Oh,
Weaver.
it doesn't have to be one long I don't have to make it turn into
No.
one PDF. I can, okay, all right.
Yes, yeah. So that should be handled well. If it's a form, if it's like, although I'm assuming it's not like the fee waiver because I know you've already been doing some other stuff on that. But if it's something similar that like might be shared across a few cases, like request for interpreter or something, I know is a thing that we have. That's still
Or
a
fee waiver.
standalone.
Yeah, fee waiver makes sense. You could just include it, right? That's
Yeah. Yeah, essentially,
Well-
if you think that you would want it in multiple like differing interviews or differing like what's not different subject matter things.
Oh,
Like
I
if it's
see,
something that spans subject matters, then I would make it a different interview. If it's not, and even if it is like this could go in multiple interviews, but it's really only going to be in name change interviews, it might just make sense to put it all in one. What were you? Sorry, you were going to say something, Michelle. I think I talked over you.
That was what I was going to say.
Okay. Okay.
All right. I think that's yeah, I think that's my news for this meeting. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. That's good. Yeah, no, sorry for the apps dev stuff yesterday. It was confusing to me too. It just kept going. Okay. Thanks. Michelle, do you have anything to mention?
Report? Well, I don't have anything to, I mean, stand-up wise, I made a PR for the table, though I'm still not sure about that header 2 business.
I'm
So
not sure about the header 2 eyes there.
I
looked
just
at it,
don't
but I
think
thought it
it's
was
very
big.
accessibility. I think it's a mistake for accessibility for us to choose a header tag for it. And I don't know that it needs to be a header
Cool.
tag anyway. So
What's it?
Yeah.
What was this? What's this for?
Let me pull it
so
up because it's
for the
useful
download,
to view.
yeah.
What is it?
Bryce will pull it up. So this is the table at the end at the final page where you
Oh yeah.
list your bundles and your documents, and you have the download table.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this send by email, right? And it says get your documents in an email or something like that at the top in big letters. And right now it's a header 5, but the request was to make it a header 2. So if you scroll down a bit, Bryce, here I can annotate, get a copy of the documents in email.
That's what it used to be, right?
That's
that still what
it is now. Yep, it still is
Okay.
now. But this is a header 2 now, and I don't think it should be any kind of header, because we don't know if someone's going to put a title at the top of this that says, name change form or something. That would be the header 2, and then this would be a header 3. Or if they want to give multiple other headers, then this would be a header 4 or something, right? So we don't know what header level it'll actually be, and header levels are important in screen readers.
Yeah. Well, and
So-
also just regular people readers.
And but that's visual, right? Screen readers actually reads the H2 and H1 and the tags, right? So I'm talking about tags.
Yeah.
So I think this should not be an H tag at all. That is my take on it.
I am sorry. I think I had sort of independently started. I've been thinking about it a bit yesterday because I looked at it and I was like, I don't know if I like this. But I think we're arriving at the same idea that it doesn't really need to be an H tag. I think it would maybe. I think accessibility wise, it works kind of okay with an H tag, but I think it's more of if we're adding multiple, there are going to be multiple. If you're adding multiple, there are going to be headers that have the exact same text, and that's not. Doesn't make a lot of sense from most perspectives. It's really just the documents gets me. If we had a better way to say the
The
documents.
thing is, it's a very busy screen. I mean, if you have this is if you have multiple documents and you want to do them individually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Cool.
so let me just outline something. This was to make sure that this lined up I gotta get a different thing. Okay. So don't move, because I'm gonna, this is the old way of doing things, the one that I'm outlining now, and that's a huge outline. Okay.
It's a what?
I did not mean it to be that thick, but that's okay.
Oh, I see what you mean. The border. Yeah, got it. Okay, yeah.
This is the old way of doing things, and we need to support it because some people are still using that.
Yeah.
This down here is the new way of doing things, which just adds the send button to the table.
Oh,
It's not
right.
as
So you don't
big.
even put the message about email.
Right, it just says.
Is that what you're
email.
saying? You
Yep,
take
and
out
send.
yeah.
We might, yeah, that's a minor thing, but we could change that too.
Oh, so this is, I see. So each one of those blue boxes is a screen. It's not one screen with 3 sections on it.
So the it's what a screen, part of a screen would look like. Like Michelle, we've been doing the first one on top, but this change is to better support people doing multiple of these on one screen.
Right.
So it would be
So-
multiple of the second one essentially on the
Yeah.
same screen.
So all these 3, it'd be like having these 3. This up here is just a demo of what happens if they do it the
Right.
old way.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, that's fair.
Well, yeah. So I mean, the one thing that's missing, of course, is that editable copy, right?
So the decision there was that the developer of the app, if they were going to put it in a table, the editor of the app would decide
If it needs to be
whether they want it to be editable or not.
I see or not. I see.
Because essentially editable copy just means if it's a docx, like the underlying motion that you're downloading was from a docx, it will send you a docx, and if it's
Yeah, it's a
not
doc.
checked, it will if it's not checked and it sends you the non-editable copy, it just sends you the PDF. And so I think it's sort of, it makes more, like Michelle said, it makes more sense if the author of the interview can say this,
Yeah.
like someone is likely to download this and have to edit something or have to change something, so they should just it shouldn't be a checkbox, and it should just by default give you the thing that you're allowed to change. And if it's something
Yeah.
that you shouldn't be allowed to change, then the author can force
So-
that the other way too.
So that's only for docx. Are you sending people editable PDFs or no?
I don't think by default we're doing anything. There are some features we have that can give you like there's a specific term for the not essentially like the archived version of the PDF without fields that you can change.
Mhm.
And we have those features. I don't think they're integrated into this, and I don't think that's a big deal for right now. But
Yeah, because I think I know we had a big conversation about this, but I think that we came down on PDFs are not editable except for like the 209A.
mhm.
But I was just curious about that. I'm not trying to.
That's fair.
I
I think
don't
the
know
only
if you'd be able to do the
I have a question.
209A editable this way.
Say that again, Michelle.
I don't know if you'd be able to do the 209A editable this way. I'm not sure that would work.
Mhm.
But maybe Bryce knows better. But Juanita, you had a question?
Yeah, my question was if it was made editable, and like say they wanted to use the document, because I was talking with Quentin about like some of the forms, like I don't know if this is a part of this, but like if you needed to like change it to fit a different situation, would you be able to edit it and make the adjustments? Is that something when it comes to the editing or no? Was that like totally different?
When you mean situation, do you mean like a different client or like a different user filling out the forms, or do you mean
Yes.
like
a different user filling, I guess, yeah, a different user filling out the form. So like say the client for this particular situation or case or whatever
Mhm.
had that form, but then something else came up, and to have the ability to adjust the form, is that something that can be done or no?
But you're
can-
saying that's the same client, or Juanita, the example you're giving
Yes.
is the same client,
You
right?
can,
Not
Yes.
different.
No,
so
not
you
a different client, the same client for that particular document.
Mhm.
So if I'm understanding the question correctly, if a client wanted to change to a different form, I don't believe we have a way to do that. If a
Yeah,
client
to
wanted,
adjust the form,
okay,
like
so
to just
if a client
adjust that
wanted
form.
to edit their answers to that form, we usually do that with a review screen.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that would be essentially on this same page. It would just be a different button that says review your answers, and it shows all of the answers that you've given, not on the PDF, but like in a bit cleaner way than just looking at the PDF and all the extra stuff. And then they can go through and still through the web app change all that stuff.
Okay,
But
before
Juanita,
they
you're
can actually
saying
download
they
it.
do the form, and if their
Mhm.
situation changes, you're not talking about from the beginning of the interview to the end of the interview. You're talking about a week or two later, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about like, yes, something else
Yeah.
comes up
Right.
that they need to make an
So that
adjustment
would
to.
be,
The
right
review
now, you
screen.
can only save your answers for 90 days and, or 30, I don't know, because we're trying not to save people's answers.
Okay, I
Um,
understand that because of the load, because of the
Well,
Well,
no,
because of privacy.
privacy, the issue.
privacy. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So, but the thing is, on different servers, developers can change that, so you can save answers. And I think you
If
might,
you're
I
logged
mean,
in, if you're
yeah,
like
and
making it, if you make an account,
create an
it'll save for a while.
account. I mean, there are ways to do that. But the other side of that, Juanita, is sometimes if you do a PDF and you've signed it and you
Yes,
file it at court,
yes.
you don't want somebody to be able to go in and edit that PDF
No, you do
and
not.
act
So,
like, oh, I filed this, but actually I filed that. So it's
yeah, yeah.
it's like it's a kind of a philosophical, approach decision rather than a technical thing. You know what I mean?
Yes, I get you. But the good like having the option for the actual client to be able to download an editable copy of it would allow them if they needed to. So like per client being able to download it to their own
Right.
computer to
Yeah.
device. So if something came up and they needed to make changes, they would have that option as opposed to just a straight PDF that is not changeable. Then
Yeah.
they
So
would not make the adjustments.
I think currently we don't have a way to give people an editable PDF. Is that correct,
Oh.
Bryce?
No, I think by default we actually I don't
Oh, okay.
we there is a way, and I don't remember what the default is. But essentially, yeah,
Okay.
like it's definitely possible. I think in the preview screen actually it'll download it and the fields are still editable, which is fine because it's just a preview and it hasn't been signed
Yeah,
yet.
maybe it's editable until you sign it.
Okay, well that can be doable too.
That would make sense. I do think we would lean towards still like I think it's one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we would lean towards editing inside the app because essentially, if someone wants to go and like make changes, then they could be like it's one of those things that like we're trying to help them as much as we can, and so it could be that like if they suddenly have decide to change something about the PDF that they've downloaded, that has other ramifications that like we've coded into the app already, and we know if they change this, we also need to reconsider like what we're asking here.
It's actually, there's even more complicated pieces than that, because if they open a PDF on their computer, that it's an editable PDF, they can edit it in the browser.
Yes.
But when they download that PDF, those answers won't be saved. Those changes won't be saved. And if they go back, then those changes won't be saved. And so it's very confusing for a person. They're like, oh, I can just edit it here.
PDFs are just a horrible experience.
At any of their edits.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's
so they download the editable PDF, but we don't want people to be editing it in the browser. That's one of the avoid things.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah, then I do think there are a lot of these are questions that are good and we should be asking. The only thing that I've run into that is like people get really like, oh, this needs to be not editable is sometimes e-filing. The courts really want it to like you should not send us an editable PDF or something, or it needs to be not that it's not editable, but it needs to be like hardened in the right way. Which I think which is one of the reasons that there are some other features that we can add for that. Although I don't think any of the courts were doing that with. I don't think they mind. Or however they're still accepting all of the stuff that we're doing now, and so
one thing
yeah.
One thing I want to add is that we put this little checkbox in here in anticipation of people wanting to give their users a choice. But in practice, we found that people don't really want to, at least the people we've worked with so far, haven't wanted to give people a choice. They've just wanted to decide for them.
Yes,
So, you know, that it's a nice idea, but if nobody's using it, then,
it doesn't, you don't need to
that
take up the
feature in
time
there.
to do it.
but
Or
yeah.
space.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I see the difference now that I actually talked about it.
Yeah.
Yes, it does make sense to not, because you don't want anyone else to tweak anything that doesn't need to be tweaked later on
Yeah.
or changed
So,
for legal reasons. And yeah, I see how that could have, that could create an issue later to not
Yeah.
have that option. But if they were downloading the file to their, like, okay, say it was like a custody situation, or they needed to do the paperwork for a child or something like that, and then they end up getting the sibling. They already have the template because they downloaded it, so they will be able to fill it. They wouldn't, I don't know, they'll be able to fill it out again.
Yeah, you know,
But
I
they
mean,
would
just
still
from
have
a
to do it.
legal standpoint, yeah, it would make a lot more sense for them to do another interview. It
Yes,
doesn't make
okay, that
sense
makes
for
sense,
them
yeah.
to add the one. I mean, just, you know, that could cause a lot of problems for them.
And I think
Okay, I
I
get
think
it.
I think where this
Because they would still have
comes.
to file it. So they'll still have to file it, but it would just be like
Yeah.
having, but I
I
guess.
was gonna say, I was gonna say, I think what this comes down to a lot of is essentially it makes the most sense for like legal aid experts and like the subject matter experts to decide beforehand. This is a thing that like you could edit, and this could be a template, and you like either it's intended for you to edit. There's some stuff that we've left blank, or like this makes sense for you to then like
Yeah.
use multiple times for multiple people. We'll make it editable, or for the subject matter expert to say it doesn't make sense for you to edit this. We won't give you the editable copy. And so either way, I think it comes back to there doesn't need to be a checkbox on the screen.
No, it does not need to be a
And-
checkbox.
yeah.
I'm clear on that one. Yes.
Yeah,
Because
so I think
so for the person to do it, I mean the intake specialist or whatever to do it, than for the actual client. So yeah, I see what you're saying.
So yeah, sorry, just sort of bring it back to the PR that Michelle had been working on.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's good. These are. I think those are the questions that we need to ask. But I think at some point, the thread goes on forever. So
We should
yes.
document this somewhere and our reasons for doing it, because it is a complex decision. But anyway,
yeah, and was there an issue? If I'll go and double check and see if there was an issue related that
I'm
this one
sure
was-
there is, because we talked about it
so
a
many
lot
times. Yeah.
previously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep. So I think, I mean, do we want to wait for Quentin to also weigh in on whether this should be a header or not? Or do I just remove the header and just make it a div?
Personally, I would suggest making it a div. But if Quentin wants to weigh in, he can.
I can always change it back.
You can always change it back. Yeah, just revert the changes.
Oh.
But I think I do think it's worth at least trying the div or trying something that is less structured.
Sure. So other than that, I checked your PR, had some comments on the PRs for the restart button for Kiln.
Yes,
I
I did end up merging those because I
all right.
addressed I addressed it all the comments you had. Hopefully in the
Okay.
best way. If not, we can make those changes later.
Sure. And we might make some issues.
Yeah.
Let me know if you don't have time to make the issues and I'll try and make those.
Okay.
And other than that, I think those are my main things, just office hours, the usual kind of stuff. Yeah, I think that's it for me for now.
Awesome. 20. I know. Last we had, or the last Friday, you and David mentioned meeting. Did that ever happen?
No. Well, we did have the meeting. He did
Okay.
say that he would make send me out some stuff, but I think that is still waiting on that. So I know they're very busy, so I have no problem with still waiting. So basically, I'm still waiting on it, but he did. I was able to look through basically. Hold on, let me find the actual thing so I can. The stuff that he did send me was like hold on, which was I don't want to say the wrong thing. So what he to look over was I still was having trouble actually logging in to well, which one was it? The Suffolk Lit Lab. So I'm not I guess I gotta reach out to technical support to see what's wrong with my actual login because it won't allow me to do it through Suffolk.
That would be us.
DocAssemble server?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Is it the app server or the test server? That is us. We are the technical support for that.
Oh, so I have not been able to log in. So I remember I mentioned that to David, and he was like, well, maybe you need to just do Suffolk because I was doing so my name at Suffolk at su.suffolk.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't try it with just the at Suffolk.
I think
see if that would actually work.
If we put a pin in this, we can. I think it would be better. We can go through this in super detail, and like you can like show us like how you're trying to log in, and I can get on like the administrator side of things and see. Oh, you should be try doing this instead. But we can do that after we stop live streaming.
Okay, cool, not a problem. Yeah, because it
perfect.
Was, for the legal invitation, yep, technology lab. Yes, that's what it's not letting me finish that part. So yeah, we can do that after.
Yeah, that's a perfect thing for us to do. What I was gonna ask, do you remember what else David was supposed to send you? Because I could also probably send that to you. I know, like you said, everyone's pretty busy. But
I think it was I don't know if I was. Nope, I'm not 100% sure, and I don't want to say the wrong thing since it's on record.
Yeah, no, in that case, I'm sure David knows what he should send you, and he's probably yes, recorded it somewhere. So I'll just in that case.
Yeah.
In that case, I'll be sure to poke him next time I see him. I think he's at a conference all day today. And so probably I don't think he'd be able to get it until Monday, but I can at least be sure on Monday I can poke him and be like, hey, you should send this to Juanita. So
yeah, I did talk to him about like trying to see about introducing it to like other clients, like on the because like like I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this right now or not. So I will pause what I was about to say and wait till I hear back from Quentin or David on what I'm about to say. So that way, if it's not supposed to be recorded, it's not recorded.
That's fine. Yeah, and I never know what I'm
I was literally about to say something, but I'm like, I'm not sure I'm supposed to talk about that right now. So I'll wait. I'll put the pin in that. We'll see. Yeah, I think you'll definitely cross it by everyone, I guess, after it's been like confirmed that I can actually have this conversation. So I'll wait.
Okay.
And was this a better as far as me talking? With the other one, there was a lot of static. Is this one clearer?
Oh, it's perfect. It's
all
fine.
Right, cool.
Yes, yeah, you've been crystal clear for I think the past few times. So yeah.
Well, I also have to sign up because I have a class like in a couple of minutes. But
yeah, I was gonna say for updates, I don't really have any updates. I had to take off earlier this week for some personal reasons, and we have been trudging along in the same stuff I always am. So